Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look at the Dallas Stars potentially being a dark horse favorite to potentially land a pretty big name here ahead of this year's trade deadline. We're going to take a look at the Dallas Stars this season as they've been one of the better teams in the Central Division, kind of shockingly. If you ask most hockey fans out there, maybe outside of Dallas, the expectation for the Stars was maybe they'll kind of do what they've done the last couple years is, fight it out for one of those last wild card spots, maybe go on a nice run like they did in 2020, going all the way to the Stanley Cup final. But that's never a guarantee. But this season, they're actually having some pretty good success during the regular season. They're currently first in the Central Division right now with a 28-13-8 record, and they've played fairly well over the last couple of weeks. Now, really the biggest part of their season in terms of their success was early on. They played really well through the first 2 months of the season, and then things kind of fell off just a little bit. But despite this team not having a ton of injuries right now, the only real injury is Rupe Hintz. They could use some more firepower to this roster, but they are going to have to delete some assets on the roster in order to add. So when you look at their current top point producer, it's not even close. It's Jason Robertson. Jason Robertson is their top guy with 65 points in 49 games. He's already got 32 goals. He's really played well this season. Jamie Benn has 43 points. He's playing well. Tyler Seguin's struggling a little bit. Mason Marchment's playing okay. There's an obvious need to maybe add a little bit more talent up front. And I think that is the spot they're going to look at the most. When I look at this current roster, everybody's been saying recently that Radek Faksa, unfortunately, is kind of the easier asset to move and the guy they're willing to make available in a bigger trade. Now, his current contract, he's got 3 more years left at $3.25 million per season. He's a modified no-trade clause. He's in the prime of his career at 29 years old and the Czech Republic native. In his current deal, it currently has a 5-team no-trade list. So this is a deal that Dallas can pretty easily get something done, I would think. So we'll see what happens with that. Keep an eye on Radek Faksa here over the next couple of weeks if teams are maybe scouting the Dallas Stars, and that could be a guy that teams are kind of taking a look at. Not to mention the first-round pick is absolutely in play. I think that the Dallas Stars right now, with where they're currently at in their division, I don't think there's any concern of them missing the playoffs. Again, it's never a guarantee. But they already traded away their first-round pick to the Rangers for Nils Lundkvist. So that's off the table. So now, here's the thing. They've traded a lot of their assets already. So that's why I think Radek Faksa is available here, because this is part of the problem. You have a lot of your picks already moved. Your first-round pick, your third-round pick, already gone this year. So if they trade their second-round pick here at this year's deadline, they don't have a draft pick till the 4th round this year. And this is supposed to be a very coveted high-end draft. That could be a problem for them. Not to mention, they also have some younger guys, Wyatt Johnston, Ty Dellandre. Looking in the prospect pool, Logan Stanchovin. Who else do they got? Riley Tufte hasn't really developed the way I think they would have hoped. Antonio Stranges, Thomas Harley. He's a really good defensive prospect, but again, I don't know if they're willing to trade that guy, but these are the guys that might be available here. The Dallas Stars, in terms of their assets, it's not really that big, and that's why I think there is some concern about can they really make a deal. Like I said, if they want to make a deal, it's going to be a Thomas Harley or Riley Tufte or potentially even giving up that second-round pick or picking up a Logan Stanchovin. That's kind of what you're looking at here for the Dallas Stars. Now, if I had to pick who they would be going after, I think really it comes down to one of those centers. I think Ryan O'Reilly is a very interesting one, depending on what happens in St. Louis. I think they're a really big candidate for Bo Horvat. I think a lot of teams are kind of, saying, all right, there was a little bit of interest, but we don't really know how much is there from the Dallas Stars. I think it's going to come down to if they are willing to give up the assets. And I hate to say it, if it is a Bo Horvat trade, they are going to have to give up that first-round pick. Absolutely one of those second-round picks either this year or next year. There's definitely some, it's definitely one of those things where there's not a ton of security knowing if he'll re-sign this year. But I think that the Dallas Stars see this window right now with, I mean, let's be honest, with the way Jake Ottinger is playing right now, this is a team that could really use an asset like a Bo Horvat to add to this team. Even a Jonathan Toews, I think those guys would be really good assets to this team. And again, a Jonathan Toews you could potentially pick up for a second or third round pick. That might even be something that the Dallas Stars look into. So keep an eye out for the Dallas Stars heading into this year's trade deadline. I think they're a really interesting player, especially with where they are in the standings right now. You know, Minnesota's on the outside looking in. Nashville looks decent at points here throughout the last couple of weeks. And obviously some of those other teams like Colorado and even St. Louis, they're kind of in the rearview mirror, but they aren't that far behind. And I think the Dallas Stars are realizing, listen, it's going to end up being an arms race closer to the deadline. We're going to have to add here to make sure we can keep up with the rest of the division. Guys, that's it for today's video. Let me know down in the comment section down below some mock trades, some guys you would like to see the Dallas Stars potentially bring down to the Lone Star State. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again next time.